Hello. So a couple days ago, shot a video going through all the vinyl that I already had that I liberated from my basement. Today we're doing the new vinyl I purchased since the last time I shot one of these updates, and it's a lot. Let's just say that. It's an embarrassing amount of vinyl. I mean, in my defense, I haven't done one of these in a few months. So this is building up over, I can't remember when the last update I shot was, but it's been a few months. That being said, still definitely too much here. This is, this way lies darkness. So I promise, one of my New Year's resolutions for next year is to be less insane. But let's just go over the stuff so I can put it away and alphabetize it, which is something I really enjoy doing for some reason. Starting with Nebraska. Now, if you saw the last vinyl update, I already have this. This is my second copy of Nebraska, but that one I got for like $4 or $5, and this one is much nicer. This is the Vinyl Me Please edition of Nebraska, gatefold with all the lyrics. And they always just do really nice editions. So this one comes with this booklet here full of information about the album. Very nice. Also, just an insert here with this nice drawing there. And then the record itself comes on this nice smoky kind of translucent swirl vinyl, which is very pretty. So that's nice to have. I'll probably, sell my other copy, probably get like a dollar for it or something, which is fine. Um, I picked up this Loudon Wainwright the Third album T-shirt for really cheap. I got this because I was doing a dive of his records, and I stopped here because this one wasn't anywhere on streaming, and so I was just like, I'll find it on YouTube or something later, and I just never did. So now I can listen to it for the first time on vinyl, and then I can continue the dive until his next album that isn't on streaming, which I know there are a couple more, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We got some Joni Mitchell in here. This is her double album. Um Don Juan's Reckless Daughter, yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't remember what adjective she used. Reckless. This is it's not my favorite album of hers, but it's a really interesting, adventurous album, and it has some great stuff on it. I love Otis and Marlena, especially. Gatefold with the lyrics, and she is on the back saying how for some reason. And this is the controversial original artwork. And if you don't know why this is controversial, that is also Joni Mitchell. So, yeah. Um, Random 80s Van Morrison record, one of my favorites from that period. No Guru, No Method, No Teacher. This is a really good one. I will say, Bitchy Petty Van starts to kind of come out on the last song, Ivory Tower. But before that, it's a very, very nice record. All right, now we got a lot of random cheap Todd Rundgren stuff. I recently dove Todd's discography, and I really liked his 70s stuff, really liked his 80s stuff. After that, it kind of ranged between This Is Okay and This Is a Nightmare. But all this stuff is really good, and all this stuff I got for cheap, real cheap. This one was one of the more expensive ones actually. I almost poked myself in the eye. This was $6, and this is the ever popular torture artist effect, and you have to turn it upside down to see the tracks. But yeah, I mean, this has one of the ones you've probably heard on the radio a million times, "Bang on the Drum All Day," which is a simultaneously very fun and very annoying song. It's a good record. This was kind of like my dark horse pick of the dive. Deface the Music by is a kind of prog side group Utopia. On this one, this is kind of like a Beatles homage, and I just really enjoyed it. Um, Initiation. The first side of this is really strong. The second side of it is just a long extended instrumental piece called A Treatise on Cosmic Fire that I'm not a huge fan of, but the first six tracks on here, that's like a 30 something minute record already. So you don't even need side two. Forget about it. This is one of my favorites, a cappella. As the name would imply, it's almost entirely made with mouth noises, and this was a record store day version, so it comes on nice orange vinyl there. This was not one of the cheap Todds. I got that new. This was my favorite of his. Uh, a wizard, a true star. I know these albums and what they're called. It's just my brain is full of holes like a fine Emmenthal cheese. Um, that's okay. But this is a really cool record. It's like die cast around the edges. It's that really unique shape, and then got it on the inner sleeve too. And the original album came with two inserts. It came with a postcard with a message from Todd on it, and a little poem by Patti Smith. My copy came with the poem, not with the postcard, which I can live with that. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's a cool package. There it is. All right. Healing. And this one is obviously beat to shit. It's missing the corner, which isn't great. But I think this was $3. So I'm fine with it until I can get a nicer copy. Let's see, Mink of Hermit of Mink Hollow. Oh, yeah, this looks like a cheap like bootleg, you know, album, but it's not. This is just the way the cover looks. But this is a very nice record. Faithful. This is a weird one because side one is just extremely faithful recreations of famous rock songs. Like he does Good Vibrations, he does Strawberry Fields Forever, so on. And then side two is original stuff, and the originals on here are really good. So side one, your mileage might vary. You might feel like, like that shot for shot remake of Psycho, where you're like, this is fine, I guess, but why? But then side two is very strong, I think. And side one is impressive from like a technical point of view that he could recreate all of these, landmark recordings. This is the most recent Guided by Voices album at the time of filming, Thick, Rich, and Delicious. I thought this was one of their stronger albums in a while. That being said, I really need to listen to their albums like, three or four times for them to fully sink in, and this hasn't fully sunk in for me yet because just I've been listening to so much more music lately that I don't have time to like obsessively listen to the new Guided by Voices over and over like I used to. But yeah, I'll get back to it. Does it have does this have an insert or anything? No, it's just like a normal black inner sleeve. Nobody needs to see that. Beach Boys 85. On the one hand, this record is awful. On the other hand, it's really fun and I really enjoy it. I think Carl Wilson in particular just really works with that kind of like heavy 80s production. And there are a couple really nice Brian Wilson songs on here too, as well as Get You Back, which is one of the more enjoyable songs Mike Love ever wrote, without Brian, with Terry Melcher. So I like it. Fuck it. Wendy Carlos, or at this time Walter Carlos, the soundtrack to A Clockwork Orange. This was a really cool find. So it has the original score. It has some of the classical music used in the movie. Very cool. Who by Numbers. I got this for really cheap, and I actually like that whoever owned this before me connected the dots. I thought that was kind of adorable. Um, and if you haven't heard Blue, Red, and Gray on here, that song's absolutely gorgeous. More cheap, random Henry Mancini, Pink Panther score, one of my favorite scores of his. My favorite Jonathan Richman record, You Must Ask the Heart. This was another Record Store Day release. Comes on pink vinyl. There it is. And yeah, I mean, I would say this is a good Jonathan Richman record to start with if you want to get into his stuff, just because I think it's one of his kind of more polished records. And I just think it's a really strong batch of songs. Let Her Go Into the Darkness, especially, is one of my absolute favorite Jonathan Richman songs. And he does covers on here, like he does La Rose, that Bette Midler song. And he does it like sincerely. Like, there are lots of bands who cover that song ironically, like Mudhoney or something, where it's just like, we can do it like a punk song. But he just likes the song and he does it totally straight, and it's nice. He does Hard to Saturday Night by Tom Waits. He does Vampire Girl, by him, but that's one of his most entertaining songs. It's really good. It has a cat on it. Check it out. Elvis Costello, King of America. This was my second favorite Elvis Costello album after Imperial Bedroom. I thought I already had this on vinyl, but it turned out I just had this record store day thing, which was like, King of America and Other Realms or whatever it was. It's just like live recordings from the time. So I was very annoyed with myself that I didn't have this yet, and so I got it. There it is. Got a couple of random. No, I think this is the only one. I think there was one in the other pile. Pete Townsend. This is the first Pete Townsend solo album. Who Came First? It's got some nice songs. It's got Sheridan Gibson. It's got his version of Pure and Easy and Time Is Passing. It's got a gatefold. That's Meyer Baba, who Baba O'Reilly is named after. His kind of guru. Yeah. Um, David Bowie, Bing Crosby single. Their version of Peace on Earth, Little Drummer Boy. I actually like Little Drummer Boy is one of my least favorite Christmas carols. I only like it when David Bowie and Bing Crosby are doing it. And this comes on this nice pink and white swirl candy cane vinyl. This recent Brian Wilson Live at the Roxy box set. This is very nice. It comes with this kind of insert mini poster kind of thing there. And then it comes on 3 discs, each of which has unique artwork. So you got this one, and then you got this one, and then you got this one, which is this is the original artwork. Like this is the artwork I'm familiar with, like on CD and whatnot. And this has all of the tracks that were on the original release, and a number of other ones too, which is nice. I know he does. Yeah, he does Southern California on here, which is for whatever reason just the first song that popped into my head when I heard Brian had passed. I started Southern California started going around in my head, so that's been an important one to me lately. Uh, it's just a really nice record. Brian does a little quick cover of that Bare Naked Ladies song about him, Brian Wilson. So it's hearing Brian Wilson cover a song called Brian Wilson about Brian Wilson is interesting. That's fun. Um Jesus Christ, got this big old Halloween box set. So these are um the 3 recent films, the David Gordon Green films. These are the new original scores by John Carpenter and his collaborators. I saved this hype sticker because it says everything that's in here, which is nice. So 3 expanded editions of the Halloween trilogy soundtracks, new artwork and packaging, 35 unreleased tracks across 6 LPs, liner notes, interviews with John Carpenter and David Gordon Green, 24 by 36 poster designed by Creepy Duck. You gotta love Creepy Duck. Plus another poster and a lenticular cover. So that's cool, right? It's all in here. That's what the box looks like. And then we've got our booklet here with some like production photos, stuff like that. And I don't think these aren't the interviews. This is just talking about each of the films and the making of the films. Giant poster here. It's like impossible to show posters on this thing. Look, it's his face. All right, and then you get each of the records. So here's the original Halloween 2018, and you can see it's kind of embossed with the name of the movie on there. And then each of these has a gatefold with that particular film's mask. And then the records themselves are on this beautiful, like, orange green swirl, which is very cool. And then each of these, there's so much freaking stuff in here. Like each of these, they come with inserts. You know, it's gonna take forever. It's gonna take forever to show all this stuff. But but that's why I bought it. Have it in my house. I'm just gonna put all this stuff away off camera. We'll just keep rolling. Okay, so this is another one of the posters. Um, yeah, and this is just like an alternate film poster. Um, another disc with the same coloring there, which is lovely. Can at least put these away in their proper boxes. So, okay, and this one is Halloween Kills. So there's a Halloween Kills mask, gatefold, and they're kind of all, like they're kind of all on the same orange green swirl, but there is just naturally going to be, differences in each of them. The swirl like that, each one is going to be unique, which is nice. And yet another poster. So many posters. What am I going to do? And this is another film one. This is just a Halloween Kills poster. There he is. So much stuff. Oh my god. Yeah. There he is on the back looking all decayed and shit. What about this one? Did I show you the back of this one? Yeah. Yeah, you can see the progression through the 3 films. And then of course we have Halloween Ends, where his mask is at its most fucked up. And gatefold yet again. Okay, so this one has a different kind of swirl. Look at that. That's very nice. That's lovely. And it's got yet another poster. These are all just, like, recreations of the film poster. There he is. It's all red. Blah blah blah. So yeah, that's enough of that, right? This shit is cool. I'm glad it's in my house. We're going to pause. We're going to be right back. So what, are we winding down now? Was that most of it? No. This is the second pile of new vinyl, and this is like twice as big as the first pile, not counting that giant John Carpenter box set. So let's get into it with Robin Hitchcock and the Egyptians, Globe of Frogs. This is yeah, that's just normal black vinyl. I wanted to see if it was green. It should be green because it's about frogs. But yeah, I mean this is one of his more consistent Egyptians records. So those Egyptians records are definitely more hit than miss. But this one has, like Balloon Man and Vibrating and Chinese Bones. The title track is really weird. Tropical Fresh Mandala is really weird. It's a great one. Check it out. The Queen is Dead by the Smiths. Gotta have that, right? There's there's Gatefold. I think this one is just on normal black vinyl too, but it does have that inner sleeve there. Eh, eh. Oh, this was I got this in a blind box from Mondo. This is the score to the recent Hellraiser reboot by Ben Lovett. And so I was waiting to see the movie to figure out if I wanted to keep this or not, and I had fun with it. So I'm gonna keep it. It's cool. It's nice. It comes on actually, I should open this because it sounds really cool. It says it comes on gold and black Galaxy vinyl and pink and cream Galaxy vinyl. So we want to see what that looks like, right? Yeah. Let's get a look. There's Gatefold. First disc. Pretty nice. It was better in my head. I'll tell you what. But it still looks good. Just not as good as it did in my imagination. And there's the other one. Huzzah. It's in here too. It comes with there's an insert in here. Hey, it's just some artwork. That's nice. They did a good job. Eh. Um Random Tobin Sprout compilation. This is actually a compilation of two of his EPs, Wax Nails and Sentimental Stations. And this is nice to have just because both of those EPs are hard to come by these days. And it comes on this nice translucent vinyl. So that's cool. Oh my God, it's another one I haven't opened. It's Regimental Sergeant Zippo. So I love this album. This was going to be Elton John's debut record originally. He ended up going with Empty Sky, which I also think is a really good, really underrated record. But this is really cool. That one is kind of, like medievally and harpsichordy, and this one is like, psychedelic and just kind of more indebted to like the Beatles and all that. And I think it's a really cool direction. I would have enjoyed seeing him explore this direction a little more personally. But I love his debut too. I love them both for different reasons. All right, this is weird. This is what does that even say? Fresh World OP? Fresh World of Scott Walker. Yeah, this is just a random Japanese Scott Walker compilation I found, and I thought it was really cool. This is mostly his originals, which are awesome. Like Montague Terrace in Blue and Windows of the World, The Old Man's Back Again, and some of his like Bertolt Brecht covers, like My Death in Amsterdam. It's a cool compilation, and I wanted it just because I really like the packaging. Sue me. Um, yeah, yeah, there's something in here. What is it? Nobody knows. Elvis Costello and the Attractions Armed Forces. I think this was maybe third or fourth on my list, really high. I love this record. And it comes with this little 7-inch that has live versions of Accidents Will Happen and Allison. And is this a live version of Watching the Detectives, or is it just the single? I think it's just the studio version, which is fine with me. But yeah, cool. I mean, the inner sleeve isn't, anything crazy special, but it is, it's cool. Um, One of my absolute favorite Van Morrison records, his band and the Street Choir. This is a really gorgeous album. Highly recommend. See, I can never remember which ones are on colored vinyl and which ones aren't. Okay, that one is. All right, moving on. Random Jim James live record. This was like an album he recorded with an orchestra, and it has some of his solo stuff on here, like Here in Spirit and Over and Same Old Lie. But it's also got a lot of songs that are just unique to this set. The Order of Nature is what it's called. Yeah, Gatefold. Um, Jethro Tull, uh, Minstrel in the Gallery. I'm not a huge Tull guy, but they have some albums I really enjoy, and this is one of my absolute favorites. More Joni. This is Hissing of Summer Lawns. Really interesting, really jazzy record. Um, oh, monkeys. We got some monkeys. We got Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones, which has, such hits as The Door into Summer, Star Collector. It's also got that weird Harry Nilsson song called Cuddly Toy. I don't know what's up with that one. But yeah, it's on this nice translucent turquoisey kind of vinyl. So that's nice. Get back in there, fucker. Hurry up. All right. Um, got this random. Prince is one of the few people who, like whenever I see like a random single by him or something, or just some random promotional release, I always just have to grab it because I want all of his stuff, as much of it as possible. And so this is a Prince side project called Madhouse, and this is definitely some of like the jazzier stuff in his discography long before he recorded his own jazz albums. But yeah, this is just a single for the song Six. And on the other side, it has an extended mix. All of Madhouse's songs are just numbered, but that's fun. Stevie Wonder fulfilling this his first finale, one of his absolute best records. Sonny Creepin', Boogie On, Reggae Woman, Heaven is 10 zillion light years away. It's good. It's good. I like it. Um, this is just a weird Beach Boys set I found. Like I already have Wild Honey on disc, but I just wanted to get this because it was odd. So this side is Wild Honey. This side is 2020. And it's gatefold with a random old timey car. Yeah, it's just weird and interesting little set, and I wanted it. Elton John, country concept album, sort of. Tumbleweed Connection, really strong set of songs, and cool packaging too. It opens up, and the booklet is kind of just like built in to the record sleeve. It's very nice art. Um, People that played on it. So yeah, very cool. Um, Thin Red Line score by Hans Zimmer, one of my absolute favorite scores of his. Gorgeous movie if you haven't seen it. Um, and it's on this nice red vinyl because, you know, it's the thin red line. So putting it on red makes sense. It's also the color of blood. More Joni songs for Seagull. This is her debut, as not one of my absolute favorite records of hers, but it's got some real pretty stuff. And it's a grower. It's like when I heard this record, I wasn't totally invested in her sound yet, but now when I go back to it, I enjoy it much more. It's on this translucent yellow. Violent Femmes, Hallowed Ground. This is a super cool record I discovered pretty recently. And this one's on blue. This is like a really dark, kind of disturbing record where they like mix in like a lot of like Americana and like country influences. Really cool. This is not even vinyl. This is a book, but it is the book from Book by They Might Be Giants, which I recently dove They Might Be Giants, really enjoyed it, and they put out this book in conjunction with their album, which was also called Book, and the two are really supposed to accompany each other, and it's mostly just like typography. It's mostly just like the lyrics arranged in cool formations with accompanying photography. It's just a cool thing to have. It's not vinyl though. So that'll go on my bookshelf. Oh God, gotta open this one up. This is one of my favorite records of 2025. David Byrne's new album, Who Is the Sky. Just a really heartwarming, fun record. Yeah. And gatefold. The artwork for this era is pretty crazy. It's pretty great. What do we got here? Booklet. Oh, that's a poster. So many fucking posters, man. Can't show posters. And then the actual record here, there's David looking at you, is on sky blue vinyl. Very nice. Very nice. Ooh, Big Star, #1 record. I think this comes on colored vinyl too. Yes, it does. It comes on really cool gold and purple swirl vinyl. That is lovely. Modern Baseball Holy Ghost. This is kind of a pop punk record, which like I don't really like a lot of pop punk, but I'll tell you, this is just a really well written, really emotional, really, it's like a mature record. It's like, I'm not saying that that kind of music is immature. I'm like digging my own grave here. I'm just saying it surprised me. The sound of this record uh, took me by surprise in a very positive way, and I love it very much. And it is on this cool blue and black swirl vinyl. Ah. Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies. You gotta have it. It's a pretty perfect record. And this is on this nice kind of lilac purple vinyl. Oh, and there's an insert too. So that's nice. Get in there, fucker. Dang. Making me look dumb. Ah, you. Alright. The soundtrack to The Northman by Robin Carolyn and Sebastian Gainsborough is just a really cool set. The Northman is probably my least favorite Robert Eggers movie, but I still really like it. It's mostly just that his filmography is like so strong. But yeah, this comes on this nice kind of maroon vinyl there. Also comes with, this is yet another poster. But yeah, this one's pretty unique. I like it. All right. It's like folding a map. Oh yeah, and we also got this sleeve. Meh. Really nice set. I'll fix it later. Fuck it. Random cheap Burt Bacharach. This is him, doing a lot of the songs, many cases, instrumental versions of, songs that he performed himself, some songs that he wrote for other people, stuff like, I'll Never Fall in Love Again, and This Guy's in Love with You, and Badoo, Pacific Coast Highway, I don't know, The Way to San Jose, good songwriter. This was just a record I randomly got from Vinyl Me Please. Like, usually I'll get in there and say I want this one or that one. But this time, this was the first thing I got from them, and I was like, I'll just let them send whatever the random album of the month is because it sounded kind of interesting. And this is fantastic. Self titled Beverly Glenn Copeland album. I really, really love this record. Really surprising. Comes with this nice piece of art, gatefold with the lyrics, and then it's on this really cool blue swirl vinyl. Vinyl Me Please always does really, really nice sets. They really do. Uh, Van Morrison, Astral Weeks, my favorite Van Morrison record. Maybe kind of a boring pick, but it's everybody's pick for a reason. Comes on that nice green vinyl. Ooh, Hajira. Yeah, Joni Mitchell, Hajira. This is not in the sleeve because it is on my turntable, but yeah, let me grab it. And so it's on this nice gray swirl vinyl. So that's nice. I also picked up this Tropical Fuckstorm, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard split EP, Satanic Slumber Party. It's just real nice picture disc, pink picture disc. I like it. Uh, More random 80s Beach Boys. This is LA Light album. I think this is actually very late 70s. I don't know, but you know, this isn't their best record, but it has that insane disco version of Here Comes the Night. It's got some good stuff by Dennis and Carl, and it's got this photo here of dogs dancing, which is the real reason I bought it. We have got this random LCD sound system single here. That's just on black. But it's, basically I went to see LCD Sound System live and had a really great time and it was a fantastic show. But I went there excited to like buy some overpriced vinyl from them and they didn't have any at the merch stand. So I just went on their online store and was just like, I gotta find something. I was all pumped to buy overpriced vinyl. So I got this random single, which is, like was some kind of new edit of the song Home, which is, admittedly a beautiful song. And then uh finally we have The Dead Don't Die. Um the soundtrack by Jim Jarmusch's band Squirrel. Jim Jarmusch, if you don't know, wrote and directed that movie. And yeah, also did the music. Another freaking huge poster, but this is just, it's just It's the movie poster. And I'll look it up on Wikipedia, fucker. Okay, and then it's on this cool green and red swirl. And that is everything. We did it. I have a problem.